I worked for MrBeast as a cameraman, AML. Hello. Seeing the recent resurgence of interest in an older AML I did in MrBeast in general, I decided to do another AML post. I worked for MrBeast as a freelance camera operator in the summer of 2022, helping with the filming of some videos like, I hunted 100 people, and various experiments and segments from other videos. My NDA has long since expired and all videos I helped filming have either been published or canned, so feel free to ask me anything. I'll be answering questions in about 2/3 hours. Edit. Thanks for all the questions. How were you and the other employees treated? I responded how the shooting sessions with Jimmy went in another comment, but in general it's a pretty crushing job. You are expected to be available 24/7 for shootings and overtime is hardly paid if it's done in Greenville. OSHA is a joke. If I had to sum up the org in one word, I wouldn't say evil like many people in these days suggesting, but disorganized. MrBeast is trying so hard to make something new. He's basically making a shitty version of a production company. Like, higher-ups are all friends of Jimmy who don't know what they're doing. HR uses Discord instead of Slack. There's no best practices or external advisors. It's like a crappy startup but 10x the size. But hey, they paid me. I saw another AMA with a former MrBeast worker, where the op was criticizing MrBeast for being manipulative and using growth specifically geared toward kids. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on that. I know you said you don't want to go back, but are you glad you took the job? I think the other guy is jumping on the MrBeast hate bandwagon and trying to cash in on the controversy while it's still hot. He's talking about faking videos like Jimmy just killed a child on camera, when in reality it's industry standard. Sometimes it's not even intentional. You set out to do X, but guess what? It's raining, so you do Y instead, and cut the footage in post to make it look like Y was planned all along. Like, he talks about using CGI spike traps instead of real spike traps like okay, who cares? It's not like we'd use real spike over cardboard, plastic ones lol. He's right about the whole Merc prizes though. Shame on Jimmy for using FOMO against children. Tell me most of the prizes or stuff he does is scripted and fake. Or my friends are making up stories. The prizes are real and the stories playing out are mostly organic. But there are always producers manipulating the scenes and the stakes to make the videos more interesting. One example would be, in the hide and seek video, telling seekers where the hiders are to speed things up, or telling Jimmy what to say in an earpiece to spice up the moment. This is standard practice in the industry and everyone does it. It's not just MrBeast. He flaunt cash and a rich lifestyle. He sells himself as more humble than he really is, but he's not out here buying yachts and football clubs like some Saudi princes. He's the textbook nouveau rich yuppie, big car, shining house with staff, in-house gym. Do you think working for MrBeast was a good decision? If you went back in time, would you have taken the job? Why or why not? I don't know. On one hand, it paid for my vacations that year. On the other, it was a back-breaking job I wouldn't do again. If I had better hours, I'd probably work for him again, but for now I'd say no. Anytime someone wants to discuss MrBeast, I will share my experience, and hopefully not get scammed like I did. I participated in the Send Your Pic to the Moon campaign. I paid about $80. It was $10 a pic, and was aware there were no refunds if you changed your mind. This was during the pandemic and rocket launches, and supply chain issues being what they are, it got delayed about 2 years. Actually, spoiler alert, it blew up shortly after the launch. It was on the Peregrine rocket. Anyway, that's not the scammy part. It was a day after the campaign to submit your photo past the website scrubbed all mention of the launch. They could have left up the page saying, due to technical difficulties, the launch has been delayed. Stay tuned to this page for updates. But instead, the day after the deadline, everything was wiped off the site regarding the launch, and it was never mentioned again. This was done before the endless delays and eventual destruction. Everyone that bought into this would have understood delays and unfortunate outcomes when dealing with rocket launches. However, there was no reason for completely ghosting the folks that gave him money. This was a scam. Do you genuinely find the character behind the MrBeast team to be pure? A lot of people have started to question their motives when the channel became more professional and seemed more advertised to higher production. And my follow-up question, when they did increase to the production and professional side of the channel, do you think that affected the overall quality of the original MrBeast, for better or for worse? I think the quality of the channel's productions are way higher than when I worked there 2 years ago. His recent video with all the YouTubers, and the one with ages 1-100, are incredibly well produced compared to the stuff I worked on. The members of the core crew had a falling out, but they're still close. Just not friends like they were before. I don't think the org is evil. It's still a business after all. I don't know Why people are expecting it to operate like a Go. Is Feastables kind of a scam? Yeah. But I would criticize Merbeast for overworking us rather than for selling shitty chocolate.